Hello, and welcome to the Bee and the Rose Knitting Podcast. I am Kat, and I am your host today. This is my third episode, so if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much, and I'm glad you've come back to join us. And if you are new here, hello, and welcome to my nervous podcast. This week, I don't have any acquisitions because I am recovering from the yarn crawl while at the same time trying to save up for the the fiber festival that is in a week. Also in a week, my birthday. I'm so happy. I'll be 24. I like when people ask me how old I am, I've been saying I'm 24 for like 2 months because I don't know how old I am. I don't know. I just know when my birthday is. So this week I do have a finished object, which I'm really excited about. I'm super happy about. I just have the one though. One finished object. And it is my Flax Light sweater in the size 0 to 6 month. I did not leave the progress keeper in. Oh well. So last time I was down to the ribbing, and I just needed to do the sleeves and the ribbing, and that has since been done. I did the body and the sleeves in 3.75 millimeter needles on Knitter's Pride interchangeables. And then I did the cuffs and the cuffs and the rims and the neckband all in a 2.75 millimeter double pointed needles. I don't know. I can't remember the name of the company, and someone threw away my packaging for me because aren't they so helpful? Yeah. I've done this in Shiner by Stranded Dye Works on the Paradise base, which is the merino cashmere nylon blend, and it's so soft. Oh my god, it's so pretty too. I love it. I'm almost out of that ball. I only needed one ball, and I've made like socks and mittens and that because babies are small and they don't need that much yarn. I am segueing into works in progress because that was my one finished object. I am working on, oops, we're tangled, so tangled. Oh God, oh well. A little hat because I'm just gonna make a full set for the baby. But I've experienced cake collapse, so I'm going to have to rewind that, probably into a ball at this point, because cakes are awesome. They're really great. The yarn doesn't run away from you, but at a certain point, it collapses on you, and then you're left with a giant tangle mess, and it's time to wind into a ball. I'm definitely going to have plenty for this hat. And then, which the hat, by the way, is I'm taking the measurements from the After the Storm pattern. Thank you, Stephanie, for that suggestion. It's super awesome. But on that pattern, it has you do, I think, 3 colors, the base color and then 2 coordinating colors for a band. I'm not doing the band, and I'm not doing the pearls for the band, so it's just going to be the brim and then stockinette. But yeah, thank you, Stephanie. That's super. I'm totally adding that set to my repertoire because it's a pattern for both the hat and a cardigan to match, and I'm sure as more of my friends procreate, I'm gonna have use for it. Also, there's always someone in my family. I come from a very large Mexican family. There's always someone pregnant, and if you don't hear that anyone's pregnant and maybe you're pregnant, I'm not. I'm not. I don't have children nor committed anyone, so and you know, I'm trying hard enough to take care of myself right now. I don't need a baby. Not now. Not now. Mm. So that is the hat, a finished sweater. I believe I showed you guys the socks and mittens, if not last week, then the week before. And then my other work in progress that I'm actually putting work into is, oh boy, is my my pumpkin coach shawl, which I've made a little bit of progress. It's quite long. This is my 60-inch cord because mostly I work off of 60-inch cords. Like the 16-inch cord I used on the Flaxlight sweater was a gifted object. I went to the Yarning for You store one day on a Thursday, which is their social knit group day. I didn't know that. I was just at the doctor's office that's a couple miles away, and I had a free day, and I was done at my appointment. I was like, I know there's a yarn shop over there. I'm going to go check it out. I'm going to walk over there and check it out. And I did, and it turned out to be social, which happens a lot for me, actually, that I'm like, okay, today's the day I'm going to the yarn shop, and I'm just going to go there, and I'm going to knit, and I'm going to look at everything. It's the social day. Awesome. I hope the glare on my glasses isn't too bad. I know last week I went without them, and the week before that I started with them on and then took them off after the intro, but I can't see. So I've watched a few other people podcast with glasses, and it's not too bad. So I'm hoping that these ones are okay. And then on Monday, I'm going into the optometrist to get a new prescription because the prescription on these glasses are 4 years old. And I have a set of contacts that I went, the last time I got a new prescription, I went for contacts instead of glasses. And then I got a job in a really hot kitchen working with food, and I was like, I don't want to lose a contact in this environment, so I'm just gonna not wear glasses for a year, and then when the headaches get so bad that I can't not, I'm just gonna go back to my glasses. But I'm getting a new prescription on Monday, so that's going to be really nice to be able to actually see. Like right now, this prescription, it makes it so I don't have headaches, but I know I'm not seeing as well as I could be. Like I still have to strain in order to put small things into focus, which is a fun part of nearsightedness. Anyways, that was a really big tangent that I'm just going to leave in because I have no editing skills whatsoever. But so this is my pumpkin coach on my 60-inch cord. I'm knitting it out of my 3.75 Knitter's Pride needles, which someday soon I'm going to get something else that isn't Knitter's Pride, because I have this thing where every few stitches it just completely unscrews. And like the shop owners said, like, get the little key and tighten it. And it's like, I tried that. It doesn't work. It's just... So I'm hoping to get some Addy clicks, but that's a fairly large investment. Maybe around Christmas I'll be able to do that. But I'm really happy. The Pumpkin Coach pattern is by Kitman Figaro. So it's a really awesome pattern. I did it's lace. I did run into a stitch I'd never seen before because I do a lot of lace. I want to say that I'm attracted to a lot of lace. I haven't actually done that much knitting. Like I've done a lot. I've been knitting for a year, and I've done a lot of knitting, but like not as it hasn't produced as many objects as I think it has. And I love lace so much. But the stitch was an M5, and I was like, what? And the instructions on it was like knit one, yarn over twice, and then it just didn't really, the instructions and the pattern weren't entirely clear. But YouTube is a very helpful place, and I immediately found I messaged the designer, but you never know when people are on Ravelry. The last time I messaged a designer, it took them like 6 months to get back to me, and by that time I'd already finished the project. But yeah, so I found the tutorial on YouTube, and it was super helpful, and I'm really glad for YouTube, or I would not have learned to crochet. I would not have learned to knit. But there's that. There's the progress on that. I think I've got like about 3 inches on that project now. The deadline is it's the 21st of October. I need to have it blocked and dried on that day. So we'll see. Now that I'm done with the sweater, the hat should be a quick knit up. I'm not anticipating that will take too long, because I have 4 more rows of ribbing, and then it's straight stockinette, and then for like until it reaches 11 centimeters from the brim, and then it's just decreasing from there. So it should be fairly quick, even though it's fingering weight on tiny needles. And then I'll be able to be monogamous, and the only thing you'll ever hear about is the pumpkin coach and my spinning. Speaking of spinning, my other work in progress is my unicorn clouds that I'm spinning up for So Perfect Pearls spackle. We're doing a spin to sock spackle, and I'm about halfway there. I got a lot of knitting done. Not knitting. This isn't knitting. This is spinning. I got a lot of spinning done over the weekend, because my local Norway Hall, which is the place that I go for my monthly fiber meetup. It's the one I go to consistently. There are a few other knitting groups around, but even though there's one where I actually know 2 people in the group, and one of them I love, and the other person, our personalities just don't match. And I could go there, but it's at the most delicious Lebanese restaurant, and I tend to spend a lot of money there on falafel, because falafel's so good. It's so delicious. It's the most delicious thing. And the last time I went there, it was a little, it's just personalities didn't get, there was no meshing, which is all right. But at the Norway Hall, we meet once a month instead of once a week. And it's lovely. You're never going to agree with everyone on everything. And the good thing about the group is we do not usually talk about politics. Doesn't come up. It's great. Because, there are a lot of different ideas in this country about how things should go. And I just, it's just one of those things that I'd prefer to not talk about, because I tend to disagree with a lot of people, and it can cause problems. So, yeah, we don't, it's just a wonderful group. There's a lot of skill sharing, we had to do dryer balls for the festival that was this past weekend. So I got to learn different ways how to do that. And the festival went pretty well for me. I got to spin for 4 hours. I was a little late because my mom was my ride, and she had an investiture um, in the morning with the Girl Scouts because she's a new leader. This is the first time in about, I want to say, like 10 years that she's been a leader. Um, because she was a Girl Scout leader when me and my sister were little girls in the Girl Scouts, but we weren't in the Girl Scouts for very long and we moved around a lot. So it made it a little difficult for her to really lead a troop. Um, that's always a little bit of a sore spot for me that we weren't in very long. I wanted to go all the way, but my older sister lost interest, and my mom thought that I had to. So she took us both out despite me constantly asking her when I was going to fly up to juniors because I got a little Pegasus. It's adorable. But that's life. So she had an investiture where they went around and explained what it was to be a leader, different resources you had as a leader to get help from more experienced peoples, and that was supposed to only be from 10 to 11. It ended up being to 11:30. My thing was at 12, and then Mom had to do some returns at the Girl Scout store, and that ended up taking a minute. And so I was just trying to usher her out into the next thing. I was able to drive from the Girl Scout store to 2 towns over where the Norway Hall was, and that's awesome. I'm studying for my driver's license right now, and my my test is in 2 weeks. I'm really excited because I'm comfortable on the road. Last year I was not. This time last year no thank you. I was terrified. I wasn't quite like in the past. I've been like really scared. There's this period between 18 to about 23 where I was afraid of cars in general. Just they're scary. I didn't want to be in them as a passenger. I didn't like being around them as a pedestrian, and I sure as heck wasn't about to drive one, because when I was 18 and I was studying for my driver's license, I was driving the first time I was on a big road, and I didn't quite understand that when you stop, there needs to be a good amount of space in between you and the next car. And I just, going 5 miles an hour, just bumped the person in front of me. No damages were done to either car, but it cost me about $300. Yeah. And I just I had really bad anxiety then. So it just kind of spiraled into this. I'm not doing that. But here we are, 6 years later, and I'm quite comfortable, both mostly as a passenger. Some things are they make me go, but it's okay. And then I'm a comfortable driver at this point. I'm pretty good. I haven't been on a freeway yet, but that we can wait a little bit longer for that. We have a plan. But yeah, so I got to drive to Norway Hall, and then I was like an hour late getting there. It was already by the time we got there, because I kind of took a long route, just because it's where my mom directed me to go. So I should have pulled out the GPS, but I didn't. I know where it is, but I don't know how to get there. And then I got there, I got in, and I signed up at the volunteer booth, and I went to go find where my group was. I was pretty sure they were in the building, but when I got to the building, it was mostly just food in there the first time I went in. And then I spent a good 15 minutes walking around the entire campus with a spinning wheel, a 12-pound spinning wheel in my arms. And then I got back to the building, and there they were in the corner. And that That was very frustrating. But then I got to just sit and spin for 3 hours, and it was great. There was like once or twice where I had to readjust my tension and my ratios because it just kept breaking on me. Like nothing I was doing was like every couple of inches of it snap. Um, and it was so frustrating. And then it was like I figured it out, and it was smooth sailing. And oh my god, the kids loved my spinning wheel. I had this like 3 or 4 year old come up and like watch me, and she's like, "How does that work?" Not "What are you doing?" Not "Oh no, how does that work?" And so I explained several times over the course of 3 hours how my spinning wheel did what it did, and what I was gonna do next. And it was just really cool to see all these kids, like even just walking around the venue with while I was trying to find where I was going. I had this little kid look at my machine, and he got really excited, and he's just like, "Look at that old sewing machine." It was great. Um, and I got a lot done. I think I got through 2 battlings while I was there, which was really good. Um, and then on Monday, I spun up half of another one. Um, I think that was Monday. No, it was Tuesday. Tuesday was my day off. Monday, I was like in doctor hell, but I got a lot of knitting done on my pumpkin coach, and I got a lot of podcasting out of the way while I was stuck at Kaiser. Yay! Um, So that is it for my works in progress. I do have a little, this is only acquisitions because I haven't been able to show you yet because it's been a tangled mess. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have kind of seen most of my journey with this one. This beautiful, beautiful skein of yarn is the yarn I dyed at the at the dye bar at Common Threads on the Sunday of Yarn Crawl. And it was dyed by Camille at Common Threads. She's pretty cool. She's like my age. No, she's a little younger than me. She's really awesome. I would like to be as involved in my community as she is, like, because she's Common Thread's go-to girl, and I'm totally jealous of that, and I just need to be more active in my community and like go to the Friday nights. But like, when do I ever have a Friday night off? Never. I never do. That's okay. I can be there on Tuesdays most of the time. Yeah, so I pretty much just told her what colors to use, which I said like sunsets. So I have like yellow and orange and pinks, purples. It's really pretty. This is going to be a nice shawl. It's 500 yards of Cascade Harvest on the fingering weight. I can't remember exactly what's in it, but I'm probably going to look it up and put it in my show notes if I ever decide to make show notes. I have it written out for my first episode, but last week I did none. I just was like, yeah, we're going to do this. We're comfortable enough now. We've done it once. We can do it again. And so that is my little acquisitions, and that's going to be a really lovely shawl, I think. And then future knittings, I want to do something with this. I want to make it a shawlette. And the reason why I say shawlette is because it's 216 yards, which is pretty short for me. Like, it's DK weight, so it's thicker, but like, I'm just not sure how much I'm going to get out of it. This is Zombie Yarns on the Gutsy DK base, and it is, it is on the 1607 colorway, and it is bamboo and cotton blend. It's a little over half of one and a little less than half of the other. Um, it's candy cane, and I want a candy cane shawl. And I looked at it and I was like, yes, candy cane. I have not seen any projects made out of this yarn, so I'm a little worried about how it's going to pool. I know it's not going to stripe. That's for dang sure. Like, it's just, I don't think it's going to stripe. And if it does, that'll be awesome. But I just, like, because it's variegated. Like, this is orange over here, and this is white right here, and then this is yellow, and it just kind of does that. So I don't know how it's going to pool, which makes me a little nervous. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. And then I'm currently drinking Classics Folgers with Hershey's Caramel Creamer by Delight in my 101 Dalmatians mug. 101 Dalmatians is my all-time favorite Disney movie. Like, when I was a kid, I had a VHS tape, and my mom, who was a single mother, by the way, had to pawn off a few items, like, so that the pawn shop would give her some money, and then she was going to be able to pay it back and have that money, and get the objects back. And one of the objects she put in the pawn shop was my 101 Dalmatians VHS. I cried. When I found out, I cried, and the poor woman, my poor mother, she had to go back and grab it. She's like, fuck. I shouldn't have sworn. I'm sorry. I might be able to edit that out. All right. So 101 Dalmatians, that's my favorite Disney movie of all times. I think this is their 75th anniversary mug. I got really lucky. It was in the wrong spot at the Disney store. It was in with their regular mugs, and they were doing a buy one, get one. So I was able to they honored it. I was able to get that and a Cheshire Cat mug, which I'm sure you'll see eventually. But yeah, that is everything I have today. I'm really excited about, no, there's another thing. Like, that's all my work in progress and stuff, but I have like a project. So my mom is the leader for a Girl Scout troop. They are cadets this year, and they are going to be hiking in March, and I think it's an overnight trip or something a little more than just an afternoon hike up the mountain, and they need wool socks. So Mom was talking to me, and she's like, "How much could you knit these socks for me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but it would be like, a bit of money. It wouldn't be cheap to do this." But then as we come into October, I'm kind of looking at it. I'm starting to get into dyeing a little bit. I haven't actually been able to do it, but I'm researching. I bought like food coloring and everything, and I have a bin full of wool that needs to be washed just one more time, and it'll be ready to take dye. But that's an aside. So I was on KnitPicks the other day, and I was looking at their dye your own base. And it's their 75-25 base, and it's white, and it's only like $8 a skein, and it's enough for a pair of socks. So I think what I'm going to try and do is we're going to get a couple of skeins of that, and we're going to get some Kool-Aid, and we're going to get the girls together for an afternoon, and we're going to dye the yarn. And after the yarn is dried, we're going to teach the girls how to knit themselves some socks. And that's going to be a fun, frustrating process. I know my little sister is into weaving, but she's tried crochet and she doesn't really like it. just because she just doesn't, the moment something gets hard, she kind of shies away, which I think she'll get over as she gets older, but I think knitting will go a little faster. So I'm going to teach them how to do that, and that'll be really fun and really awesome. But we just have to do the thing. So that's the name of the game. Do the thing. Just do it. Yeah, go. But that's everything I have for this week. Next week, I don't have anything going on this weekend that's real big. I'm just kind of gearing up for the Fiber Festival that's on the 7th. Yay! I'm so excited for that. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you guys have an awesome week. I will see y'all later.